He walked into the job interview wearing shoes held together by tape and still got the job. Most people in that waiting room laughed. Some whispered, "How can someone who can't afford new shoes possibly lead a team?" But none of them knew what those shoes had been through, or the man who walked in them. Once in a small town lived a boy named Arjun. He was raised by his grandfather, a shoemaker. They were poor, but the old man always said, "Son, don't pray for an easy life. Pray for strength to walk a hard one with purpose." Arjun never had new things. His school shoes were hand-me-downs, worn out and stitched more times than he could count. They squeaked when he walked, flapped when he ran. Other kids teased him, called him flappy feet. It stung. Bad. One day he came home angry and threw the shoes across the room. "I'm tired of being the poor kid. I want to fit in." His grandfather just smiled and said, "One day, these shoes will take you further than the fancy ones ever could." Arjun didn't understand then, but life was just beginning to teach him. Years passed. Arjun studied harder than anyone. He cleaned tables after school, fixed shoes in the shop with his grandfather, and saved every coin. He learned discipline from hunger, patience from rejection, strength from setbacks. One winter, his grandfather fell ill. Arjun had to run the shop, work part-time, and still study for his final exams. He wore the same pair of shoes for 3 years, duct-taped, stitched, patched, but still walking. When graduation came, he wasn't the top of his class, but he had something most others didn't: resilience. Now a young man, Arjun walked into the job interview, ambitious, prepared, nervous, but he didn't notice until he sat down. His shoes were splitting again. He caught people staring, but instead of hiding them, he leaned forward and said, "I know these shoes don't look like much, but they've walked me through storms, hunger, failure, and growth. I don't wear them out of poverty. I wear them to remember who I am." The room went silent. One of the senior managers stood up and said, "We don't need perfect resumes. We need people who've walked through fire and are still standing." Arjun got the job. We live in a world that chases comfort, fancy titles, polished looks, curated perfection. But the truth is, character is forged in the struggle, not the sofa. Growth comes from grit, not glamour. Comfort teaches you nothing. But hardship? It teaches you to stand when you have every reason to fall. Every scar, every failure, every worn shoe. They're not signs of weakness. They're proof that you didn't quit. So the next time life feels hard, when you're down, tired, or walking through your own storm, remember Arjun and remember this: it's not the comfort that builds your story, it's the worn shoes, the struggle, the fight. So wear your worn shoes with pride, keep walking, and one day your story will inspire someone else to rise. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs a reminder. Hardship shapes character, not comfort. Rise, fight, thrive.